modeling and colorism, definitely a thing.
And why do people think that plus-size women cannot find love?
You see, the problem with the body positive movement is the fact that change is a bad thing.
I need to know what Drake really meant by BBW.
Welcome to Curves Rock Happy Hour. It's me, the Chanel Nicole.
Hi, it's Miss Diva Doll.
Hi, I'm Monet, etc.
And our favorite bartender.
The turnip queen, Ayana.
Welcome to Curves Rock Happy Hour again. Grab your cocktails and join the conversation. Ladies, are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's go.
So, we have, what is it? It was plus size women dating, right? Mm-hmm. That's our topic for today. What do you wear on date night?
On date night, I typically wear, depends on where we're going, but if it's kind of just dinner, movies, or something like that, jeans, a blazer, heels, knee boots, depending on the season, but typically something cute, casual, but you know.
Me too. Like, I'm big about the whole cute and casual. A lot of times I'll try to throw on a pair of pumps, depending on where we're going, because I'm typically short. But in general, I definitely like to wear some flats, depending on if we're doing something active or something fun. That's what I like to do, like active activities, like on the first date.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's cute casual, like you guys say, but I like to be as close to natural as possible.
Okay.
So my hair is natural. If it's in its natural state, I want to try to wear it that way. I want to try to wear a little minimal makeup, and I definitely want to wear heels. So anything that may be an issue, problem, you know, down the line, if I do it differently, you're like, hey, I didn't know you were that tall, or hey, I didn't know your hair was natural. I want it all out the way.
Right.
Put it on
So,
the table. Yeah.
no surprises,
Yeah.
but in general, cute, casual.
I agree with you, Dad. That whole natural thing, I think that's important. I think a big thing with guys is a lot of times they complain about us women not coming as natural. Like they're like, oh, they're all done up. They have on so much makeup. They're not them. Like the next time I saw them or 3 dates down the line, I'm like, who is this girl?
Yeah, that's true. I do make sure I don't wear foundation. I just wear a little light shadow, lipstick. Yeah.
And then that second or third date, you hit them. They like, oh, wait a minute.
Right.
I be like, yes, get on my level. We're here now, you know. But yes, so definitely that. The other thing I was looking at, with dating or whatever, just the different things, the issues that you have being curvy, flirty, and dating. You know, one of the things I was looking at was the dating apps. How do you guys feel about things like Black People Meet, Plenty of Fish, stuff like that? What do you think?
So for me, I feel like whatever it takes for you to feel like you can get yourself out there, because I feel like a lot of times as you get older, it is harder to meet people. So I don't feel like it's a bad thing, but I just feel like just like anything, sometimes with getting in contact with so many people of a group, it's a lot of riffraff you have to sort through.
Yeah, and you're really busy. The older you get, the more busy. Work, businesses.
Right, which is part of the reason why you don't necessarily come in contact with as many people. I know in my field, sometimes you may not come in contact with that many single men. So it can definitely be hard. But in the same sense, if you do a dating app, which I have done some in the past, it's kind of you literally are like tons of guys coming towards you and want to go out with you, and it's just trying to weed through them to see who's real, who's really about you. So I think that makes it harder because there's so many that you have to now try to weed through.
I can tell you, I love that. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I like dating app. I think it's a concentrated field. So, for example, if you have the plus size app, you know that there's people out there looking to love someone like you and not try to change you and not try to belittle you and all that stuff. Now, there are people out there that have fetishes on those apps. That's why they join them.
Right.
For example, I did Black People Meet when I was 18 because that was something that you wanted, this big, black, strong man, and that's it.
And you were finding on Black People Meet?
Let's take it back. First of all, I was 18. That was my first mistake. Second of all, I quickly realized, because that's when I went to college, that it wasn't going to be on Black People Meet, obviously. I didn't know these men.
Right.
They didn't know me.
Yeah.
They just saw my little 18-year-old high school photo that
Right.
I really didn't have. And I was like, this is a creep.
It was
at
like
the end
fresh
of the day.
meat.
Right.
Plenty of fish.
Right, and then
Gummy.
on top of it, for me, I've always had big breasts. So then when you see these big breasts in the photo, it's like, okay, you're really a creep. You're 34, I'm 18. You
Yeah.
see me, and this is what you look for?
Right.
Yeah, 18-year-olds shouldn't be on there. But yeah, I actually love the online dating sites. I've met several people in there, some of which we have became good friends.
Right.
So, kind of like Ayana was saying, it's a specialized thing. My life is really busy. I have a lot going on. And so generally I'm not meeting people. I just don't have time.
Right.
And so for me, it's very helpful because I can go in, I can put in, filter what I'm looking for, what those characteristics are.
Right.
Education, job, blah, 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 whatever. And then I can find the person that I'm looking for, hopefully, based on those set of criteria.
Have you
So,
come across a lot of people that weren't, I guess, real?
I have.
Okay.
That's the downside of it,
Right.
because you get a lot of people that are fake, that, aren't really who they say they are.
Right.
But in general, it's been very helpful for me because it helps me to at least have a group of people to vet through.
Right.
So.
What about you? That's what we get. Come on now.
I mean, honestly, I don't have anything against them. I've been on one before. I was pressured into the situation, but I don't see. I get why it's useful.
Right.
Just the BS that comes with it,
Right.
like the phoniness and stuff like that. Like I've seen my friends on these apps, like
Right.
guys I used to date or guys that are just friends with, they're on there like, yes, I'm looking for somebody to marry. And I would inbox them stop lying. Why are you on here lying?
Right.
And
No, I agree with you. That's kind of basically how I am. I'm like, at this point in my life, I'm not interested in it just because I feel like it's so much fake and phoniness.
But it's the
not
same
even
fake and
worth it.
phoniness of somebody you meet down the street. It's no different. The
I agree,
exact
but
same
I don't
thing.
want to
Kinda
influx
true.
of it. I don't want to, if I had to deal with 1 or 2, that's one thing, but I don't need 20. That's like that.
it's kind of true. But I don't know. It's kind of true. You're right. It is the
Right.
same, so to speak, but you definitely,
Thank you.
you're getting,
welcome.
yes,
Oh,
here comes the
that's good.
drink.
But you know what, the thing that I like about, at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about a specific BBW app. But when I think about it, I actually think it's a great idea because I think about me, I love tall guys. So if there was an app for tall men, then of course I would go there for dating. But I'm not single, but if I was, I would go there and be like, yes, I know every man on here is going to be tall. Now I can look for the rest of the qualifications. So it's kind of the same thing with a plus size woman. It's like, you're on this site and the men that are coming to the
Right.
site specifically are looking for curvy or plus size women. So.
Yeah, I mean that's an advantage. You know
Yeah.
that what
Right.
what you offer is something they're interested in from the beginning. For the
I don't
most
like
part.
it.
At least as far as looks.
What?
I don't like it.
You don't
No.
like it being realized
Yeah, because then you have, those people that have fetishes and stuff like that, then you have to worry about them because they're specifically coming for plus size women. But also, I don't want specifically a plus size man. If I meet a plus size man, that's cool, that's great, if I really like him. But I want my pool to be open. I want all the fish. I don't want all the fish to myself. But I want different kinds of men available to me.
Right.
I don't want it to just be one
Yeah.
particular thing.
But
But see, I would for me, I want one kind of guy. So if it's somebody who thinks like me, I only want to date big girls, whereas I only want to date tall guys, then give me a tall app. Well, give me give
Well,
the
see,
guy.
tall is different than
But
size.
it's still a criteria. So it's different than size, but it's along the same lines.
right, because a
Along,
lot of times
but
with
not
the dating apps,
necessarily.
you're not able you're not picking people based off of height. They're not giving that.
They
as-
do have height. On Plenty of Fish, they have height.
How long you been on Plenty of Fish? It was just a question. It could have, updates. The app updates all the time. So, I want to know if I signed up, will it still have height?
First of all, they have
Yes,
height.
It does.
It has height.
It has height, but it doesn't. I didn't remember any of those sites that I've ever seen have height as a criteria. Meaning, okay, yes, they do have height, and you put in height, and it says the person's height, but not that you can search for people based off of height. So,
Yeah.
if I want a guy who's 6 foot or taller, I can just
You
search
can.
for him based off of
That's
that.
the other thing. You just brought up another point, because I have met so many guys online that say they're 6 feet, and then
And
you
they
meet
5'10".
them, yes, and they're 5'10".
So the rule of thumb,
approximately.
the rule of thumb is whatever height they say they are,
Right.
you subtract at least 2 inches.
Okay.
So
Right.
if they say they're 6 feet, assume they're 5'10".
Right, and then that's the other
If they
thing.
say they're 6'3", assume they're 6 feet, because normally that's what happens. And it's not like they're females. It's not like when you come, you have tennis shoes. It's not like you can make yourself
Right,
taller.
right.
But
But
they
that's what I
figure
was
once
gonna
you get to
say.
know them, you can't turn back. But I can.
That's the thing that I've heard a lot of guys say that do online dating. They're like, women, they have this face shot, and then when you meet them, they're larger than what they say. So again, that goes with that app where you know that you're getting exactly what these people
Right.
say for the most part, because they're specifically.
Yeah, I definitely have had
BBWs.
friends say the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that was her 10 years ago. Like, I went out with her, and she's a beautiful woman, but that was the picture she showed, or the picture she had, was her 10 years ago. Like, show what you are now. Like, be
Right.
you. You know, embrace you. So, like, I don't know why people would do that. Like, why you're gonna show some picture of you 5 or 10 years ago,
either.
especially if you don't look like that anymore.
Yeah.
Because when you go out with that person,
They're gonna see.
Yeah.
But see, people
Right.
believe that if you fall in love with their personality,
You'll let it go.
that's not real though.
Yeah.
Like,
I
most
mean-
people are not just some people are personality only. I'm not one of them. Sorry, if you're interested in me, it's not going to be personality only. You know, like, it takes more than that. You know, it's a combination for me. Like, I want that person to be attractive, and I also want them to have a great personality. I want both, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
it's nothing wrong.
But I want to, so in tackle for the fetish thing plus the curvy thing, if you're searching by height, I wonder these apps that, you know, cater to curvy women, can you search by weight? Can you search by build? Like, every curvy girl is not the same online.
Well, every app has a way to search by build.
You can search
Even
by build.
regular
Yeah.
apps have, you know,
Yeah.
slim, average, athletic, more to love, whatever
Yeah,
that
muscular.
means. Muscular.
Some people identify themselves incorrectly, though.
Oh yeah,
It's
well that's
typically
a whole
the
nother
issue.
thing,
Well,
right?
yes.
But then again, it's subjective, because what one person thinks, remember, we just had that conversation last episode.
Right.
What one person thinks is chunky, is some thick,
Right.
is obese, is plus,
Right.
you know, it's like, it's
Right.
subjective to who you are,
That's
and then how you're defining it.
Right.
So,
Or you identify yourself as what you want to look like.
Well,
Or
yeah.
when I'm working out, if I'm working out and I know, okay, I'm be slim thick in like 2 months, I'm gonna just put slim thick now.
No,
Don't
do it.
I'm gonna do it 6 months.
Please don't do that.
That's crazy. I'm gonna be slim thick in 2 months, so I'm gonna just say I'm slim
Then why don't
thick.
you stay off the app for 2 months? That's how you become
I'm
slim
gonna
thick.
put my profile on freeze, because, you know, I still gotta pay for it, because I wanna be active. But 2 months, giving myself that.
I can't.
right.
That's the problem.
Or I know my birthday coming up, Thanksgiving coming up, I know I'm gonna wait more, I'm gonna be more to love in 2 months. So I just gotta put that on there now.
I feel like when dating, when you're plus size, when you're curvy, I think that a lot of times, you know, we had that conversation before about automatically looking a certain way in reference to being sexy and stuff. I feel like, you know, that's one of the issues. You know, you're just trying to wean through who genuinely likes you, versus who is feeding into stereotypes.
Right.
Well, stereotypes say that that if you date a plus size woman, she'll pay your bills, or stereotypes say that I heard that sex was better. You know, stereotypes say, you know, trying stuff out, not really genuinely looking for you know, a plus size woman.
I went out with a guy.
A woman.
Yeah, I went out with a guy, so I went on a date with him. This was a few months ago, and that's basically what he was saying. He was saying he had dated like what's considered an obese woman or whatever, and basically she would buy him whatever he wanted and that kind of stuff. And he felt like she was trying to buy his love, so to speak. So he wasn't really that happy about it, but he wasn't happy
Because he
with
didn't
her.
want that.
Yeah, he didn't want her to buy his love, and he also wasn't attracted to her, but yet he continued to date her. And I think that was my biggest issue with him. I'm not sure exactly why he chose to share that on a date with me, but in general, it was just kind of like, what type of person are you to continue to date somebody that you're not interested in? Like, if I'm obese and you're not attracted to me, don't date me because of my nice personality. If at the end of the day you're going to be like, you know what, I can't see something with you long term.
Right.
So, I mean, that's important to me. Like, just understanding, like, from the beginning, like, even if she wants to buy your love, like, saying no, being that strong man to be like, you know what, I'm not interested. I'm not looking for you for that. I'm looking for whatever.
Right.
And just being honest about it. But do you think that, like, a lot of women feel like because they're plus size that that they have to do that, or because they're obese or
I did.
larger
Some do,
that they
Like if you look at, what's interesting, I saw before, like strip clubs.
okay.
Right? You go into a strip club, and a lot of times I see the strippers walk around. Sorry, I have stripper friends. Sorry, guys. I see them walk around, and I see them, talk to these women, sort of get them prepared and ready for the show.
Right.
And a lot of times the plus size women, the heavier women, they're the ones in the front row.
Right.
They know that they're going to spend their check.
Right.
Right.
And so I'm not saying that the smaller women aren't, but I'm just saying they know their target market.
Right.
And, I've looked at it before, and I'm like, why is this so?
Right.
If I'm coming to a strip club and I already have in my mind that I'm going to tip, I'm going to tip. But it ain't got nothing to do with how much I'm being loved, how attractive I am. I've just never had a problem with dating.
Right.
In reference to getting guys, to like me or to want to date me or something of that nature. I've fluctuated in weight, I've been smaller, I've been, larger. It never has been an issue for me, so I really can't, I really don't really understand it in that sense.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I do understand, the part that gets on my nerves is, for instance, like when I'm dating someone, every guy I've ever dated has been like fly. Like handsome, like yes, you better come through.
In your opinion,
and
right?
in your opinion, I show up.
Clear. In her opinion. Okay.
See,
Sorry.
it's always one. I show up, I'm not. Hey, and so the problem the issue that I have is when I'm with a guy. You see smaller women looking like, oh, I can get him too if she got. No, you can't.
Right.
You can't do what I'm doing over
Yeah.
here. They automatically think like that they can have what I have just because I'm plus size or I'm a curvy girl. Like, if she could get him, I can get him.
That's real though. That's real. I've definitely seen
Like,
that.
no, you can't.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot of women think that. Like, oh, hold up. Like it's guys who I'm just friends with, like, like I hang out with them, like girls think like, maybe he has like the idea that maybe it was something more, and they're just like, oh, I'm gonna try to talk to him, like I'm gonna take him from her, like, really? Nah, he's not my man. You definitely can have him, enjoy your time with him, but don't try to look at it like you're trying to take something from somebody else just because you feel like you're more fly or like you're smaller, so he's gotta like you because he likes. No, maybe he likes curvy women, and you don't fit the bill.
Right.
Like it is what it is.
right.
Yeah.
And it's just unfortunate that people have this misconception.
Right.
Like they automatically look at you and be like, oh, she gotta be paying his bills.
Right.
Or
I am not paying anybody's bills. Let's be clear. Not doing it. Sorry. You picked the wrong one. Not I. No. Sorry.
I think for me, so the guy I'm dating is super skinny, and he's really tall. So me, I am 5 foot even, nothing close to it. So I feel, I'm gonna be honest, in the beginning I felt insecure because I was like, okay, this guy loves me. I don't know why, because I don't look like his ex-girlfriends, but there's some reason he's into me. And then 3.5 years go by, he's still into me. So I started to love myself a lot more, and then it made me feel like, okay. I was like, so it's not just me being curvy that's the deal breaker, it's something else.
Right.
So it's men out there that I enjoy that are super skinny and they love thick women, and it's not a fetish.
Right.
It's what they like. They adore your curves, and they adore the way you look. So dating for a curvy girl is not hard as it seems.
Right.
So, seeing these girls, like we talked in the last episode, on TV, having these problems like getting men, I don't think that's a reality. I think that's just a select city, a select state, or something that you're not giving off. Like you're not giving off enough confidence.
And
for
what you
yourself.
said is very important about what you give off.
Right.
I just had a conversation with a friend this weekend about, dating in general is about, whatever you want, you have to project. You can't say, I want a guy that's fly. I want him to have his own car, his own house. I want him to have good credit. And then you don't do these things.
Right. Yeah.
You're gonna attract what you project.
Right.
And sometimes it may not be right, but you'll filter through that too.
Right.
So because what happens is if you let's just say you get something that you're not ready for, then you're going to look like the incompetent one.
Right.
And that doesn't have anything to do with size.
Right.
That has everything to do with projecting what you want to receive.
Right.
You know, and, you know, even when it comes to being plus size, how do you present yourself? You know, I was speaking about a show before, and it was like, okay, you're showing up for a date
Right.
looking like you ready to go to the corner store or go to the market or hang out at your mama's house.
Yes, that happened to one of my friends. She was on a
You
date,
know?
was like, he looked a mess. Like, I don't even know why he showed up like that.
Yeah, even with guys, you're not going to show up. How you show up,
Right.
to me, is telling me how much you respect
Right,
or
how
care
much
about our
effort,
date,
right.
how much effort you put
Right,
into
right.
it. And it doesn't stop whether you're
Right.
small
Right.
or whether you're plus size,
Right.
you know. And I'm not saying you got to be all the way over the top. I'm saying that you need to show up looking like you care about yourself. Because if you don't care about yourself, you expect
Right.
me to care about you
Right.
at some point.
I definitely agree with that. Like, I've definitely dated a guy in the past where, like, I don't typically date bigger guys, but he was a bigger guy or whatever. And, like, I like that. I like that about him, and I thought that he was really handsome. And I liked his personality. But he was not okay with himself. You know what I mean? Like, it was always a projection of, you know, I should lose weight, I should be small, I should be this. And my whole conversation was like, if you want to lose weight, do that. Do that for you. But don't feel like you're not handsome as you are. You know what I mean? There have to be a point where you're saying, I look good. Because that, to me, caused a lot of issues with us dating. It was just like, it was always like a conflict. Like, he couldn't imagine, I guess, somebody really loving or caring about him. And it was just like, why? Because you don't love and care about yourself. So, like, honestly, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Loving and caring for yourself. Because if you don't, that projection will come off in your relationship. It'll come off in your marriage. It'll come off with your interaction when you go on a job interview, when you're at work. Like, you need to learn to accept who you are. Like,
Right.
big,
Love
small,
By
whatever.
yourself,
Yes.
without any other
Yes.
person. Because if your confidence is based on someone else and how someone else treat you, then that means when they go away, you're gonna fall apart.
Right.
You know, and how you feel about yourself need to be consistent with where you are in life, period.
Right.
Whether somebody comes to you or leave, you're good either way.
Right.
You know, and so that's just in general. That's just important in general. And I just, you know, just dating.
Gotta have self-confidence, for sure.
So,
Yeah.
I guess my question is, because I don't know if y'all remember, it was a couple years ago when a lady was dating, and the guy would force feed her because he wanted her to get bigger, and he liked all that stuff. Yeah, and but he was force feeding her like hamburgers and steak. He was force feeding her to be overweight, like completely overweight. So, would you date
fetish things.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, would you date somebody who wanted you to get
Absolutely
bigger?
not.
Oh, what about,
Sir.
to take that even further, what about the people, like women that lose weight and then their, you know, boyfriends or husbands
Oh,
are
yeah, I've seen
upset
that a lot.
because
Oh,
they're like,
yeah,
you
I've
don't
seen
need
that a
to
lot.
lose weight.
Yes. Well, you know what? What's funny is you come across that a lot because men do like curves, you know, and then you lose weight and you don't have them. And so, but if someone really loves you, it doesn't matter, you know.
But I don't
But I
always
wonder, is
think
it
losing weight.
insecurity?
Yeah, sometimes I think it is insecurity. Like, I don't think
that's
always
true as
losing
well.
weight is like I'm losing my curves. My curves are just changing. You know, like I've lost. You know, I've been smaller. You know, than what I am now, and to me, my curves just changed. Like the way that they look just look slightly different in certain clothes and certain outfits. But a lot of times, yeah, I believe it has a bit to do with insecurity sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking insecurity in a sense where if you lose weight, then I feel like you may become more desirable
that's
to
what I'm about to
other
say,
people.
the attention.
And so now I need to keep you where
Right.
you are,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, because I don't need the extra attention.
Right.
Like, I love you, or
I don't want
I
nobody
love
else
how
to
you
start
make me
like,
feel.
catching your eye, hold
Right.
up. Don't
Right.
be catching my girl.
You
eye.
might see that I'm
Yeah.
not really the best one for you. You might start opening your eyes to some other things,
Right.
you know? And so, yeah, I do believe that it definitely has something to do with insecurities.
Yeah.
And so, you know, just in general, people need to just, you know, when it comes to dating, if you could give one tip to a plus size woman dating, what would it be?
I would say own yourself, like own your curves, own your whole personality, like just love yourself and project that when you're going out. Know that you're not limited to any type of man. Like you can be with whoever you want to be with, but just know that you want to be with somebody who's going to love you for you, and that's the most important.
I would say have confidence and explore your options. You know, there's so many options, so a plethora of men. And so you don't have to choose the first one that comes your way. You don't have to, you know, limit your integrity, your character for a man. Just, have that confidence where you know what you're willing to accept and won't accept, and go from there.
I would say live your best life, and whoever comes along to add to what you have going on, then they're for you.
Right.
And if they are subtracting or making you feel bad about who you are in life, whether it's about your size, it's about your career,
Right.
and it's about or whatever it is, then they're not for you.
Right.
Period.
I would say shoot your shot. Because I'm just saying, it's so many plus size women out here be like, oh, I'm not gonna talk to him because he's not gonna like my curve and blah blah blah. Shoot your shot, girl. It's one life. You're not gonna be this age forever. You want to find. I'm just saying, like you shoot your shot. That's it.
Cheers to shoot your shot.
Yay.
How's this drink, ladies?
Good. Thank you for watching another episode of Curves Rock Happy Hour. Don't forget to grab your cocktail and join the conversation.